The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Republicans are losing their damn minds after Joe Biden called Trump supporters garbage. So, I'm going to play the video as well as the clarification afterward, as well as the reaction from Fox News, which is insane, and JD Vance and Kamala Harris. And I'm also going to make it very clear. The obvious difference here between what was said at the Trump rally about Puerto Ricans and Joe Biden's comment here. But first, here is the clip that is causing Republicans to be very offended.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. He says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable.
All right, so I'm going to get to Joe Biden's clarification and the insane reaction to all of this in a minute here. But first, let's just sit with this. Let's pretend there was no clarification. Let's pretend that Joe Biden, yes, he called Trump supporters garbage, and that was that. Why do Republicans care? Why does it matter? If you are confident in yourself and your own views, why do you care what the opposition thinks of you? I certainly don't care. I get called garbage and worse every single day, whether it's in the comments on Twitter by Republicans or conservatives. I don't care because I know who I am. I'm confident in what I fight for. Who cares what people that have a different ideology that I don't agree with, why do I care what they think of me? So this is where we get to the difference, the obvious, clear difference between the comments made about Puerto Rico and the comment made here. The comment about Puerto Rico with that comedian calling Puerto Rico an island of garbage, the issue isn't that this is offensive for offensive sake. The issue is that Donald Trump treated Puerto Rico like garbage. That is why that comment resonated. If that comment was made about a group of people that Trump cared for and took care of and were very, were welcoming to, the comment would just be some stupid joke. But the comment was offensive because it gave light to a real problem. This was Trump over his administration. He withheld billions of dollars for Hurricane Maria recovery. Keep this. So I did more on this in the video, but in the previous video on this, but he introduced new ways or new barriers to allowing aid to go through to Puerto Rico during Hurricane Maria that hadn't been there before for other disasters in other parts of the country. He treated Puerto Rico specifically like garbage. He lied about the death toll of Hurricane Maria while most of Puerto Rico lived without clean water and electricity. He claimed Puerto Ricans want everything done for them and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. He suggested selling Puerto Rico or trading it for Greenland. He opposed $600 million in additional critical nutrition assistance, and he ensured Medicaid funding for Puerto Rico was cut in half. This is why those comments resonated. There's an obvious difference here. And by the way, we'll get to what Trump has said about Democrats, because it isn't even just about his words. It's about what he intends to do, the meaning behind the words. But to clarify Biden's comments here, he tweeted out later, earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. So it's Joe Biden. He misspeaks all the time. I really don't think he meant to call all of his supporters garbage. We know who Joe Biden is. He is much too kind to Republicans to his detriment. So, and by the way, again, even if he meant to call them garbage, who cares? It's not a problem. But he didn't. Just to clarify that. But the reaction from everything I'm going to show you here is all, or at least when it comes to the tweets. Actually, I think the stories too, all within the past few hours. So this happened last night. Keep this in mind. This is what broke last night. Or broke. This is a story that went viral last night because Republicans made it go viral. But the reaction has been wild. So it's story after story after story. I'll get to Harris's reaction in a second, but there's a story about this. Trump has another response to Biden's garbage comment. So they've done multiple articles on Trump's reaction to the comment. Biden calls Trump supporters garbage. Again, these tweets are all within the past few hours. This is disgusting. JD Vance tears into Biden and VP Harris after the president calls supporters former president garbage. White House seeks to play cleanup after Biden calls Trump supporters garbage. Watch Trump's first reaction after learning about Biden's garbage comment. You know, we'll just play this since we're here.
Remember Hillary? She said deplorable. And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know. You have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said. These people, it's terrible, terrible. Terrible to say a thing like that, but he really doesn't know. He really, honestly, he doesn't. And I'm convinced that he likes me more than he likes Kamala. Convinced.
Even Trump is doing damage control for Joe Biden because he understands Joe Biden misspeaks. He clearly didn't mean to say what he said in that video. So again, he doesn't even seem offended here. He's trying to make it a thing because it turned into a thing, but I don't think he even cares. To get back to some of these stories, though, just the headlines. There are story after story after story. These are all their own separate news story. Harris' campaign is bringing hope, joy, despite Biden garbage insult. Kamala Harris silent after Biden's garbage comment. JD Vance's major Harris donor doubling down and calling half the country garbage. I just want to comment on something here. It's not half the country. It's half of voters. A lot of people don't vote. So people thinking that half of the U.S. are Trump supporters is simply not true. You could say half of voters are, almost half of voters. He still lost the popular vote twice in a row, but so almost half of voters, but it's not half the country. Harris responds to Biden garbage remark about Trump supporter for the first time. Again, story. Walls responds to Biden garbage and there's more. Again, these were all within the last few hours, and this story broke last night. So you can imagine there's probably 40 updates here about this one comment. Now let's get to Harris reacting to this.
President Biden took his comment last night about garbage.
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not. That is my responsibility, and that's the kind of work that I've done my entire career, and I take it very seriously.
And it's been very clear from the way that Kamala Harris has been running her campaign that she is running a campaign for everyone. The fact that she's been doing tours with Liz Cheney should tell you something. I think it's been in my opinion, to her detriment. She's been almost too conciliatory to conservative voices. So clearly that is not the campaign that Kamala Harris is running. Go watch Donald Trump's rallies and the kind of garbage he spews and the personal grievances that he airs. And we'll get to some of that in a second here with his comments about Democrats. But these are night and day campaigns. There's no fooling anybody that the Harris campaign thinks that they're running a campaign where they believe half the country is garbage or half of voters are garbage. That is not the campaign they're running. So this is why this sort of comment does not resonate in the kind of way that the Puerto Rico comment did, because of the way that Trump actually treated Puerto Rico while he was president. Now, something else I find so fascinating about the reaction to this. Here is JD Vance. We have to stop getting so offended. Oh, good. So he came out and was like, this garbage thing is not a big deal. We got to stop getting so offended. Sorry, it was about the Trump rally. So how does he feel now? I'm sure he's going to apply this same logic to what Joe Biden said. This is disgusting. Kamala Harris and her boss, Joe Biden, are attacking half the country. There's no excuse for this. I hope Americans reject it. What happened? I thought Americans need to stop getting so offended. Wild. Just it's just so ridiculous. This is like the next day. It's just so brazen hypocrisy. It's insane. Here's Matt Walsh, another conservative clown, tweeting out, for all the incessant talk about Donald Trump's rhetoric, he would never describe half the country, half of the American population as garbage. That's the kind of seething anti-American contempt that you only find among Democratic elites. Yeah, okay. Trump compares political opponents to vermin who he will root out. Oh, by what? Those are just his opponents, right? Those are just the politicians. He's not talking about, people at large. Trump calls U.S. garbage can for the world. This was 5 days ago. Garbage can for the world. Okay, but that's the land. The land is the garbage can. He's not talking about the people. The enemy from within. Trump calls Democrats more dangerous than U.S. foreign adversaries. Okay, but like, I'm sure he clarified these comments, right? Just like the way that Joe Biden clarified his comments about garbage Trump supporters. So evil and dangerous. Trump doubles down on calling Democrats enemies from within. Okay, fine. But it's just talk. It's not like he's going to use the military against these people, these voters he doesn't like. Trump suggests using military against enemy from within on election day. Oh. Well, but okay. These are just empty promises. It's not like he has people that work for him who are diehard Republican conservatives that are now coming out and calling him a fascist, like the former senior top officials in his administration that have gone public labeling him a fascist, like Mark Milley, who says he's fascist at the core. John Kelly also calls him a fascist, prefers the dictator approach to government. Do you see the differences here between the two candidates? Keeping in mind Joe Biden not running. It's Kamala Harris. Wild stuff.